Let's bring in Ray Kelly, former New York City Police Commissioner. Ray, it's good to talk to you again. It's been a long time. We've had all of this violence on New York City subways now since COVID hit. We had Mayor Eric Adams declare in recent weeks a zero-tolerance policy for crime after that poor woman was pushed in front of a subway train fatally. Another fellow was pushed in front of a subway train. Luckily, he survived. And now we see this. Your thoughts in this moment?
Well, it looks to me, obviously we need a lot more information, but it looks like possibly a deranged individual. The increase in crime that we've seen in the city is sort of more conventional. It's tied to robberies, car thefts, that sort of thing. So right now, this could be just a one-off with a mentally disturbed person. Again, we don't know that, but, we have to see. We don't have that much information, quite frankly. We do have ballistics information, apparently, because there's shell casings on the train, which indicated what the weapon was that he used, at least what the caliber of the weapon is. So this investigation has a ways to go.
Sir, this is Jillian Turner here with John. Talk to us about what we do know about the New York City subway system. The system itself, indeed the very cars, a lot of them outfitted to help protect people and serve them in emergency scenarios just like the one we saw this morning. How is it supposed to work when there is an active shooter on the train?
Well, we were concerned about where this individual got on. There are 472 stations in the New York City subway system, the second largest in the world next to Moscow, and before pandemic carried 10 million people a day. So it's a big, complex system. In terms of active shooter is concerned, there are lots of cameras in the subway system, but not every station has the cameras. And I'm not certain about 36th Street as to whether or not they had functioning cameras there. What the police will be doing, of course, is looking for cameras in the immediate vicinity. They're not certain at this time whether or not the individual got on a train or escaped to the street. These things are under investigation. It may take a while to figure this out.
Yeah. Our understanding, Ray, is that there was a closed-circuit television camera in that 36th Street station, but according to reports that we've had from our Eric Sean, you know Eric well, he's a great reporter. Apparently, the camera is not working at this moment, so we don't know if there is any footage that might be available from the platform as the train pulled in. But, I mean, you used to run the New York City police force. They can do miraculous things when they put their minds to it. Do you expect that they are going to apprehend this suspect?
I do. I think the tips hotline will be very important in this case. This individual apparently had a mask on. Did he run along the street? Do people have seen someone acting erratically? That sort of information. It's not easy to get gas canisters. Who sells them? Where are they available? That sort of information, I think, will lead to the apprehension of this individual. NYPD is very good at what they do, and they have informants. They have other sources of information from all sorts of agencies. I think this will be solved, but can't really put a timetable on it.
Well, to that point, sir, I mean, no one knows the subway map, indeed the city map, better than you. Where do you think police are looking for this suspect right now?
Well, it's difficult to say. I don't know if they've received any information on the tips hotline. I would say that those tips would be significant. You can get lots of those tips that are wrong, no question about it, but they have to be followed up on. And I would say, I don't know why they closed down that area, that 10 or 20 block area. They may have had some information that some sort of suspicious activity in that area. Apparently, they've opened it up now. But there's a lot of people on this case. There's a lot of avenues to explore, and that's what's happening right now.
You know, Ray, subway crime back in the 1970s, 1980s was a huge problem. You helped, along with your successors, to clean up the streets, to restore a lot of faith in public transit there in New York. We have seen a declination in faith in public transit since COVID hit and since crime increased on the subways. What do you think this is going to do in terms of people's perception of the safety of taking the New York City subway?
Well, it's certainly not going to strengthen people's confidence in the safety in the subway system. That's for sure. We know ridership is down about 50% from pre-pandemic levels. This is only going to hurt as far as getting ridership back on the system. I would like to see more transit police on the subway platforms rather than up in the mezzanine. I think we need them to be more visible. The riding public has to gain some confidence that the safety is increasing in the system. Right now, that's not the case. So I think more presence and on the platforms themselves would make a difference.
You know, we think about previous events that have happened on public transit, Ray, at a moment like this, and the closest incident that I could come to compare this to would be what happened in 1993. And that horrific shooting by Colin Ferguson out in the Long Island Railroad, in which 6 people were killed and 19 others were injured. Thankfully, no one has died in this incident. But what you said initially, that this could have been an act of a deranged individual, I mean, that's what happened in the Long Island Railroad. What drives somebody to commit a heinous crime like this?
You know, we just simply don't know, but we know that there's a lot of people who need mental health resources on the streets of New York City. It's a huge problem that has to be addressed head on. All you do is walk down the street in Midtown Manhattan, and you see a lot of these folks. So it is a societal problem. It's not just New York, but New York has a fair share of it. Some people have to be institutionalized. You just need more bed space for them, for their own good, to help them. But right now, people are staying away from New York, and one of the reasons is that the folks that clearly need mental help on the streets of the city. This individual may very well be one of them.